Mario once again with MIA Microflight, another layout. And this is probably going to be a final layout here. I am repurposing the buildings that I used on the 2024 track. Different different fence design than this one right here. This is a little more simplistic, and it has less friction on the sidewalls. I did some earlier videos, shorts as well as long videos, where I detail and discuss, these features that I implemented on the design of this particular track and the reasons why this track is much better than my 2024. Um, Quicker to print. Uh, you can see I'm doing this in two colors: the darker gray, almost like a gunmetal gray, and that yellow, which is a matted yellow, so that it has some a little bit of contrast. You can see how well that is turning up in this particular layout that is based on this design here. Now I've done several layouts, just trying to arrive at a layout that is easier to build in panels. These are corrugated plastic or corrugated polyethylene, polypropylene panels that come in 2x3, so 24 by 36 inches. And so I have been playing around with these layouts, to try to arrive at something that I can easily disconnect and connect. And if I want to extend this beyond those dimensions, beyond the just a three panel setup, which is what we're viewing right here in this video. I mean, it's taking quite a lot of room here. This is my kitchen table. I could go twice as with three additional panels to obtain twice the layout here, and this can really grow into a much larger and much more fun track. Although this is plenty, I think, for racing. And as you can see, let me go back to my drawing because it's a lot easier to explain in the drawing. You can see that I wanted some long track stretches. This is one of them. This is the longest one right here, but also carries on up or at 90 degrees, and then another 90 degrees, another long stretch here. Then it comes to this little short stretch, another sort of long stretch, comes back, and it curves here. So it's got, this is quite a very nice layout, making use as much use of the surface area of these panels here, but also leaving room for these structures here, these buildings, and it's not totally in a realistic scale, but it's certainly very attractive, and that's what I was trying to achieve with this. Not so much, realism in true scale. I could do that, but I think, for example, these palm trees, I don't think they're that tall. Although there are palm trees that are really tall, but I was experimenting with different trunk materials. This is just bamboo, which I think is working out really nice. This is 3D printed. The tree trunks or the stems, once again, and just playing around with some greenery. This building, for example, is it requires a little bigger footprint, but I think I can stick it there if I just trim some of the edges right here, so to accommodate the track flat on the board here. One of the things that I experimented with was this material here, and I coated this with just a primer, auto or car body primer. Sprayed it lightly and then came back with a second coat, and this seems to provide a much better grip surface than this than just the raw polyethylene corrugated plastic. So it's got a much better surface with this primer, Just a primer, no paint on top of that. I guess you could use paints for plastics. That should work also, as long as it's not doesn't have a gloss or sheen to it. It's matted. That's the reason for why this primer is working well, because this is it's not there's no sheen, there's no it's not slippery, and so it's working out really well with these rubber tires, for racing. This is not a drift track, although it could be if you leave it just as the raw plastic material. I guess you could drift cars around here, but that's not my thing of drifting. In fact, I find that very very annoying when I see cars drifting, because cars were meant to race, and to grip and run, fast. This thing with things sliding is like I don't know. It really bothers me when I see that. But so many people are into that, and this is no. I'm not trying to discredit people that are into that type of thing. It's just not my thing. I find it, like I said, but I do find it very annoying. Because I'm more used to. I'm more old school. I grew up with if you remember back in the days back in the 70s, I had one of the tracks. I don't know. I think I got it for Christmas. And one of my parents bought it, or somebody gave me a track called Baja. I think it was Baja 2000 or Baja 1200, like something like that. I have to look it up on the internet. I did find it one time, and I found the cars, the Baja cars that the open dune buggies. It was a Baja 2000, I believe, dune buggies, sled racing track, and I love that track. I must have been about maybe 15 years old when I got that track. We're talking about back in the 70s. So, that's where I come from. I come from those years, that time. And so for me, having the car race in the regular form is more attractive than something that's been kind of romanced to hell, in order to sell you a different idea of racing, radio control. So that's I thought I'd give that explanation, because I think it's interesting to find out why some things appeal to some people and some don't. This track right here needs a bridge right here. I'm going to have to build. I'm still printing some parts. I need some straights, and I'm waiting for this material to come in so that I can print some additional ones, so that I can so that I can interface, these components as you see them here, one gray, one yellow, one gray, one yellow. So it makes it for a more interesting track layout, I think. That building right there, I had to put it there because I don't have the space in this particular layout to put this building, and so I thought this is actually part of this track. It's to that size. It's just kind of an underpass. So if I put this building right on top, I think it'll look really cool. And once I get this all set up here, I'm going to put a little camera on one of these cars and just race it FPV. I think that's kind of cool, because there are some buildings that are built on top of bridges, so it's not too far-fetched. And all these buildings have lights, so at night this is going to be really cool. I've already shown parts of my lighting in some other videos, just to give viewers an idea of how these things look like. Racing come around these buildings right here, so it's going to, the reason why I do these videos also is so that I can get the angles. Look how cool that looks. It looks almost like a real city, racing around a city, which it was either make a city landscape or make it a desert landscape, because I also have done layouts, using landscaping greenery that is also 3D printed, and cactuses and stuff like that, palm trees. Of course, that's desert landscape foliage. And so I think this is going to look cool. And look at this car, coming right around here, and boom, underneath the bridge, over that, coming around right here, boom, around these turns right here, boom, come around there, come around here. So I think it's gonna look cool. You get the point, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy. My wife thinks I'm going nuts here because I've done so many of these layouts. You can see, when I get into these things, I go nuts. I just don't do one, as I've said in many of my videos. I like to explore all the possibilities so that I don't leave any stone or pebble unturned. And I'm the same way. I've been the same way with my products. When I do my products, I look at my products not only for my personal my personal desires to have a product that is to my standards, but also it's unique, and so that if in case something comes out that's going to compete with that, I already have those areas covered. Because I don't just do one. I do, as you can see, the stuff that I've been doing with this track. I've done so many of these layouts, and and it's for that reason, because I like to explore all possibilities until I'm totally satisfied. And although this track is not like my really spiffy track from 2024, which is this particular track. This is directly from the CAD program. So I did this on CAD, and you can see that. And I superimposed the graph paper on top of this so that I can print and get a sense of scale here, so that I can massage this track also into panels. Now this track right here would require 1, 2, 3, 4 panels, but instead of 36 inches, I would need 48 inch panels, so that 1, 2, 3, 4, 48 by 24 would make up this 8 by 4 section, which is what my original track called for as far as surface area. But you can see how cool this is, and all these buildings that I designed there. You can see go back to my videos, search for MIA Turbo Racing track back in 2024, and you'll find the track and all the stuff, that I show in CAD, all the buildings already laid out with the trees, with the only thing I don't have is people there, these little tiny figures that I also have, that I can also put them around here. So yeah, this is that's the original track, but this is working it's just as nice, I think. Let me know in your comments, or let me know in the comments rather, what you think. Mario, once again, stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.